Never said you were a waste of time. All I wanted was some peace of mind. All you do was bicker. You wanna maybe grab some liquor. Tell you where to go, I'ma tell you where to go. You getting on my nerves to stop. I'm the life of a party. I'm feeling kinda naughty, gonna spin around in the head. Come on. It's fun, fun, fun. Come on now. Woo! Feeling so high, don't stand there and hide. Your emotions are right. Have fun, fun, fun. Hey, yeah, yeah. Come on now. Fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fun, fun, fun. Come on now. Take away your pain. The stress will fade away. You never feel the same. It's love, love, love. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Come on now. It's fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Didn't mean to cause you so much pain. Didn't mean to put you in the rain. I wanted you to know that I am sorry. Didn't even mean to ruin your day. All the love I have will stay the same. All the love I have will never change. To feel the music, woo, is in your soul. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on now. Come on with this fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Come on now. Fun, fun, fun. Lay your lay,
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome. It's Josh Hendricks over there.
Happy Friday. Yay. Happy man over there.
Josh Hendricks. LJ was singing a little Caribbean tune.
Having some fun?
Yeah. I heard the history on that song.
Really?
Yeah, something about the cruise lines and he should have won and he was a day late or something. Is that correct?
I don't know. I didn't hear that story.
Freddie, are you plugged in?
I should be, but I'm not. I'm not plugged in. Yeah,
You're on, but I don't know. You're not plugged in?
I'm plugged in unless they
He is plugged in.
I am.
You hear him? He says he's plugged in. Yeah, they're like, yeah. So now you're good.
Every day you got to hit the right button.
I was watching one of the network news broadcasts one morning this week, And clearly the guest mic was not on because you could hear it being picked up by the other lavaliers around the news table. So I was waiting to see what they were going to do to fix this remedy. So they put up a big screenshot of what she was talking about, and they kept talking, and you kept waiting to hear. And when she came back on screen, she was holding a handheld. So things do happen in every industry. Just got to keep going.
That's nothing. I heard on Channel 12, the lady that does the weather, she didn't know she was supposed to be on, and they lit up her mic, and she's in the back going, I'm not supposed to be on now. Holy beep, beep. All these curses came out. And you see her running. And they're like, and nobody knew what to do because she already put it out there.
It happens. What are you going to do?
It happens.
It's a beautiful thing when you're wearing a mic. Just be aware. It could always be a hot mic.
Gotta watch your hot mic.
Like Hot Mike. What's the name of that movie? Magic Mike. Or Hot Mike. Same difference, right?
Magic mic.
Different kind of mic. You know, I didn't know for the longest time it was spelled differently.
What? Magic
Mike?
mic? Or
Mike
magic
and Mike.
What would you think it was?
Mike is an M-I-C. I'm going to ask my editor over there. Versus Magic Mike is a K-E. I got the peanut gallery there. Anyway, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to, we're kicking off our weekend a little bit early because why not? The music of LJ, who is a new friend of the cafe that one of our previous producers brought forward, Alex.
Yes.
On the production side of movie making, and it was a surprise to me that he sings. So I'm looking forward to getting that story. This morning, Karen had an abbreviated Latin hustle. We're going to let Frank and Rich and LJ have a little bit of time to have a conversation because we brought them in to talk. We pulled them apart, and now we got that studio going, and we got people moving all over the place in here. That's what it's meant for, right?
Okay.
A little bit of fun. You gotta have some fun.
I let you handle it. Today's Friday. I'm off.
You're off. We were kind of off yesterday, but not because we were out networking all day with some great events, I have to tell you. We had the opportunity to go up to a new assisted living and memory care facility. A woman we met at Boca City Lead a few months ago. And this place called Inspired Living of Delray. I know they are not a sponsor, but let me tell you what a beautiful place, what great people. They love what they do.
Yes, they have a lot of fun.
We had an amazing tour. What a great, I don't want to say facility, neighborhood, community that it is, and the care and the kindness and the music that they have for all of their residents is amazing. So if you're looking in the area for your mom, dad, a loved one, or for yourself, check out Inspired Living at Delray.
And if you go when they have
3 o'clock.
What is that? What's
Music? Happy hour?
happy hour. Just go and do a tour, man. Just on the happy hour, you're going to leave happy.
Right? They had music, it had wine and crackers and cheese, a whole lot of fun. And then our name was there for entertainment. All we did was walk around. But I guess that was entertainment.
I think the communication wasn't.
I know. We'll get it back up there. We're going to bring Josh with his guitar. Maybe we can bring LJ with some music. You never know. Maybe Karen will dance a little Latin hustle up there.
Just sing. Well, they got
Or
a
she'll
piano.
sing.
You can play the piano.
Latin house, or I can do the Selena dance.
Selena dance.
Junior, I know that dance too.
Yeah, we could do the washing machine.
I could do the washing machine right along with you.
The washing machine.
That's a dance?
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, that's a washing machine?
That's the washing machine.
I thought that was a dryer.
I don't think my booty does that. How do you do that?
You go
Rich, seriously, my body.
You do that, you dislocate a hip.
Christine, can you do that? I think genetically I'm just not born that way.
Yeah, you never know
You know
until
the
you
white
try.
woman dance you tell me I do.
A hip will go that way. I never said that. You can do it once.
You do it once, you never know what's going to happen.
That's why
next.
Frank retired. He does it once he's done.
So a whole lot of fun today, and a huge thank you to our crew because while we were out doing some stuff yesterday, they put out some amazing content. All we can tell you is find our podcast, click on Spotify, and you're going to hear all of our shows while the comforts of your own iPhone device.
Yes, if you can't watch us, you can hear us on Spotify, which is a platform that we've had forever, but now they want us to say it.
Say it, produce it, publicize
Push
it,
it out there.
and check out our new website. There's a new release of BrooklynCafe.tv. So a whole lot of fun, some ideas for you to kind of raise the energy.
Trying to get all the different shows that we do in here, all the hosts, all the people that come down, and some of the magic that they perform. And again, it's an open invite if you guys want to come to the studio and catch a show when it's being filmed or air on the radio, whatever it is.
Last night was a lot of great shows.
Yeah, I lost count.
We did 5 after 5. There
Yeah,
was
that was-
5:30, 6:37,
that wasn't
and
normal, was it?
7:30. No, it was not. Actually, we had 2 additional shows that we don't normally do. So yeah,
Where did that come from?
makeups. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, like I said, as long as the wine and the beer are flowing, coffee's flowing,
It's
whatever's
12 o'clock
flowing.
here. Forget 5
Why is
o'clock.
ever since he came in, he's smiling. Why is he
He says to
smiling?
me, I didn't offer him any wine. I offered him water. I offered everyone else wine, water, and tequila in that order.
Ah.
Look at you looking all nice.
You look good, except your hair exploded.
Wow. I was watching a commercial, and I think it was for it was a music commercial, and there's a guy like Abraham, and his hair is very tamed. I don't remember, the commercial, Josh. And as he's jamming to, no, it's for Jif peanut butter. And as he's listening to his music and he's eating his Jif, his hair is growing and growing. And by the end of the commercial, he looks like Abraham.
It's funny.
It's all because he ate Jif peanut butter.
He comes Abraham don't look like peanut butter, but he comes in here, he's all spiffed out, like everybody's laughing, and everybody's smiling.
You looking nice?
Yeah, and Zorro's in the house.
You got a date tonight?
Excuse me?
No, he's just looking good.
Zorro's over here.
His dance.
The other Zorro.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, join us for our midday show. We're going to talk to Karen, LJ, Frank, Rich, and see who else is going to pop in. And of course, our psychic connection in Studio B. Stay tuned, more to come. 888-994-4995, and we'll be right back.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call JD Melberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling JD Melberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Yeah, all sorts of
countdown on that
sounds and stuff coming out. All right, let's start. What? Mine is a terrible
Because
thing
we
to
can.
miss.
Happy Friday to you.
Please. Let's start with our
LJ.
singer. Yes.
You're great. You got it, take.
You got it.
You got this, LJ.
You got it. Tell us about the history on that song about cruise lines and stuff that you
Well,
missed.
originally, that's another passion of mine. I love airplanes and I love ships. I love traveling and I love all that fun stuff. So I started fooling around with the concept of fun, fun, fun. All of a sudden, I wrote like a little jingle. I said the intention was to get the song presented to the industry, the cruise ship industry, especially Carnival, which is one of my favorite cruise ships. And once I know they were doing like this thing, submit your songs, challenge or whatever at the time. But because I missed like a day, a deadline, I was unable to present it to them because it was too late. So I kept the song and I turned it into a full-length song. And that's where the whole concept of the song is fun, fun, fun. The Carnival Cruise slogan is Carnival Cruise, the fun ship. The song is feeling the music, but the chorus is fun, fun, fun.
Do you remember? You're probably too young. Kathy Lee Gifford doing the Carnival Cruise Line commercials.
Yeah.
I
Remember that?
I remember,
Remember?
those ads.
Right?
Yes. And I
Unbelievable.
wanted to do something kind of like my contributions to doing jingles and something fun and festive. And that was the original idea. But now it's a single, which is featured in the movie Great People, the comedy.
This
And
is?
Yes, the song
Congratulations.
is featured on the soundtrack of that film. And it's getting a little resurgence right now. So
When did you write it?
about 5 years ago.
Wow.
How did it end up on a movie already?
The producer saw the music video to it and was like, he asked me permission. He was like, would you mind us using your song towards the end of the film? And I said, sure, why not? We did the paperwork and we took care of all the legalities and it's featured on the song in that film.
That's amazing. We're going to have to check that out. Well,
Oh yeah, and it's a fun song. It's supposed to make you feel good. It's supposed to make you dance. Forget your troubles. Like, just shake away your pain and stress will fade away.
remember, forget your troubles. Come on, let's get happy.
Kind of, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that kind of thing? Yeah.
Shake
You don't
away
look
your
very
pain.
Happy. My
No,
booty doesn't move like Karen's, but I can move I can do like chair dancing.
Hey,
I
as long
know.
as you're moving.
Christine, he's gonna cut me off already at 12:39.
Hey, as long as you're moving, yeah, you can move your pinky like Elvis did. As long as you're moving.
Now you do music, you do movies. Other songs you've done as well?
I am currently working on a full-length record right now, which is long overdue because I only release a single like maybe once every 6 years. And I think it's due for a
One
record.
single every 6 years.
You're like
Yes.
the chick from the Super Bowl. She does one every 7 years.
So at least
Rihanna?
I don't feel too bad because I've been hearing on social media, when are you gonna release a record, a full-length record? When I'm feeling inspired, because I'm a type of artist that I have to have something to say. I don't want to just put out songs for the sake of trying to keep up with everybody. Every time I put out a record or a single is because I have something to say. at this point in my life, I have a whole lot
I was going to
things
ask
to
you,
say.
what do you have? What's your message? What do you want to share?
Love, peace, kindness. Forget your troubles about the smallest things in life, because tomorrow is not promised. I try not to get political in my songs. It's definitely not political. I want you to forget about it in my songs. I just want you to get up, have a drink, and dance.
Just have some fun.
Yep.
That seems to be the theme of this week is take the opportunity when you can, because you don't know what's going
Absolutely.
to happen tomorrow. You may not have that same opportunity again.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is not promised. So you know what? Enjoy your friends, enjoy your family. Forget the little petty stuff in your life. Let it go and move forward with a positive mind, a positive attitude, and also kindness gets you so far in your life. Even if everybody around you are unkind. Hey, even Siri, my Alexa, agrees.
But you're in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
You've been in this industry for a long time. I didn't even realize you were in the music side of it. But you're a producer. You were on Broadway. You do music and commercials and movies. How do you stay positive in this industry?
I just think of the love that I have for it. I just try not to think of the negative, because if I start thinking of the negative, it ages me. If I start walking around with an ego, it will age you. If I start thinking I'm above and beyond anyone else, it will age you. I'm 42 years old. I feel like I haven't aged yet. I don't feel like a grown-up at all.
You haven't. I thought you were one of the kids' age when you were in here. And you said, oh, I've been in the industry for, what, 17 years?
About 25.
And I said, hey, you're how old? And you told me, I honestly thought he was one of Alex's classmates.
No.
True.
No.
Because they were all,
Yeah, they were kids. Yeah.
totally kids. So I thought you were right along with them. And
Thank you.
or maybe I didn't even think in your 30s. I had no idea. So whatever you're doing, keep it up.
It's just positive thinking.
There was also something that resonated a lot from what I talked to with LJ, and he was also talking about he's never forgotten how he started, where he came from. So he's kept his humbleness as well, right?
Absolutely, you have to. You
And
can't
that's-
lose yourself. Because I've been in here, particularly in South Florida, when I started bringing my business and stuff here, I learned that some of the kids, the young kids who don't take this business serious, already have egos. And sometimes I have to correct them, because it's like, just because you were in Bad Boys 3 as an extra, you have not made it. You haven't even broken the surface in show business. What I've learned in this business, they don't teach you in school at all. I come from the old school, when you have to literally knock on doors to get an audition, or get the audition out of a newspaper and go. They will literally swallow you up and slam the door in your face. Next. Here, kids have it a little bit more easy. They can get a job or a little gig on Instagram or on social media and instantly blow up, or however. I didn't come from that background. I came from like literally getting it off a backstage, but the newspaper or Village Voice, and going to the audition so they can tell you, thanks for coming, get out of my office. That's how I was trained as an actor. You know what I mean, Rich?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Can
And
you guys give us a foreshot? Because Rich and Frank are sitting here shaking their heads, so we may as well just open this up to a whole conversation. Thank you.
And that's why Rich, I met Richard a while back. You and I go back a while, and it's.
Oh, you guys know each other?
Yeah, we do.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And it's a business. A lot of these kids don't understand that it's called show business. You put on a show, but you definitely got to know the business. I'm all about the business first.
And the business is going to be first. It's going to be, because you got such a pool of talented people.
Yes.
And they are so good right now
Yes.
at picking the talent they want for a spot. That 10,000 people will show up for that 30-second spot.
Yeah, they do.
And they move you along. Okay, thank you. If they don't like the hair, the color of your hair, okay, move along.
Yeah.
The color of your eyes, okay, move along. You're too short, you're too this, you're too that. Because you got such a pool of kids that are coming out. So that's one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest challenges in the industry. And these guys want to bring movies back, but they got to understand it's a business first. And then it's you. Well, sort of you.
It's entailed a lot of negotiations. Especially at Friday Week Entertainment, we have that's not always fun. Because you always see the glamorous side of it. People, when they see my Instagram post, they see me in my little cozy office, they think it's all. To get to that point, for me having that nice little $500 desk in my office, it took years. Just to get that nice cozy chair in my. No, it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I shared a story with Miss Karen about my famous scar here, which with my black suitcase, when that was like a sign of the universe. That was in the early days, and I remember when I yanked that suitcase and I fell and cracked my knee. That was an awakening. Like, you got to take this serious. This is nothing compared to what's gonna come in show business. And I've gotten it bad in the industry. I've gotten told I was fat. I'm 150. They told me I was fat. I've been told that I wasn't good enough. I was told I was ugly. I was told that my hair was too long or too short or this and that. I just learned to put up a wall and be like, you know what? It's part of the business. I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm not going to get upset, and I'm not going to get discouraged. And that's what I try to tell the young kids. Keep going. If this is something you seriously want to do, you be ready for it. Florida is not always Hollywood. If y'all want to know the business, come with me. I'll show you the business. I'll sit you in front of the Tyler Perrys or the Jack Warners, if you will. They're going to let you have it. You think you've gotten away with a lot here in Florida. You're getting it easy doing your little films here. But I'll take you to one of those big dogs. They're going to eat you up and spit you out.
It's funny because you go to California where they make movies for a living, and they're going to point out that 1% of what you did wrong. Not that 99% of what you did.
Come on.
I remember the Village Voice and the gigs and everything you got from there. And you walked in there, you already knew, well, do I have another? I got to go to another one and then another one because I'm going to get a no, and maybe a maybe. And you're already in your mind, we're playing games with yourself and you get 3 no's. Or we'll call you, and they never do. I remember those days. I remember the NYU theater.
Yes.
Because my professor made me go. I did a drink, a coquito drink in a class. He says, I want you to go and do this at the theater. I said, are you out of your mind? And I went in and I did, and they called me back. I didn't want to be in theater.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't want to be on stage. I saw people like that says, you want me to go out there? And, I ain't doing that.
No, absolutely.
It was just because I was a knucklehead. I didn't know the difference between getting rejected and accepting something. I wasn't looking for it.
Right.
It never occurred to me.
It's painful. And as an actor today, when I have to go to the big dogs, as I call them, they look at me still up head to toe, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. But you know what? Since I'm already trained for it, I just do my very best I can. Just even being able to go to those auditions at the major studios, it's an honor. I'm happy to just given the opportunity because to me it's still a lesson. It's always a lesson. I'm still a student. It doesn't matter the accolades or the how many this and that. They're not worried about what you did yesterday. What can you bring for us today? And that's what I do with the actors that come to Fire Creek to audition. I don't care if you was a background in Timbuktu. I want to know what you can bring to us today. We're not going to beat you up too bad because the point of my company is to give the underdog an opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think you're beating anyone up. When you came in here, you gave all of those kids an opportunity and you produced their movie free of charge.
Absolutely. Because I see the fire in them, especially Alex. I saw something in the pot of his belly. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna polish this up a little bit for him. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of the Fire Creek dust, as I call it.
Well, how did they get lucky enough to connect with you?
Because I'm still that guy. I'm still just as determined as they are to move to the next level. I'm not above or beyond anyone. I just want to see people win. I want to see the kids and young adults and even people older than me that still has that fire in their belly. There's no limitation. Rich, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I mean, Rich is sitting here smiling. Does this all resonate with you? New York, the Village Voice?
It really does. It really does. I've been acting about 40 years, and I did theater. I did musical theater
also,
for like 25 years. I'm sorry?
And you're 42 also.
Yes, with 23 years experience. But yeah, no, what LJ is saying is so on point, because it is a tough industry. It really is. You have to have a thick skin. And there is a lot to the business component. You know, when they're producing a film, the bottom line determines a lot of what they do. And as much as a lot of people don't like this aspect of it, there's a lot of stereotypes in this business. I remember I went and I auditioned for I was doing it for a commercial. It was for Popeye's chicken. And the casting director called my agent and said, don't send me any more people. We got the person we want. But when the client saw it, I didn't get it because I didn't look Hispanic enough. I'm Cuban American, but I don't look Cuban American. Most people think I look Jewish. They say, oh, you look like Steven Spielberg. Yeah.
Yeah, when I look at you, it's like looking at Freddie. You don't think he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. But yeah, it is a tough industry. And when it comes to auditioning, I tell a lot of my acting students that, you know, it's not so much that you're being rejected, they're just picking the person that they need.
Exactly.
And basically that's what it boils down to.
It's such a deep pool. We had a show here a couple of Fridays ago, and not Al Pacino, but everybody else from Scarface was in here. And one of them Manolo took me to the back where I was making coffee, and he put me over there for 45 minutes to tell me how lonely it is to be in California. Now, he's been there for 30 years. And he was telling me, he gives me his phone. He says, I only got 2 friends. That's it. Everybody else is business here, pull me there, pull me here, pull me there.
Who you know, it's everybody's union. Like, even if you are a checkout guy, you're an actor. You could be the guy who pumps gas or whatever. They're actors. You don't stand out in LA. You don't.
The pool is so deep. This is why I like independent films. I like, you put it up on the screen, you don't know who's going to see it. I like what Stallone did on his first movie where he told everybody, you know, go F yourself. He went to his garage and he did it himself. And then after that, he turned into the industry. But what I like is you give somebody a chance and let's see what happens. Something good happens, somebody comes out with a hit song, but you got to keep doing it every day. And you can't take rejection as it doesn't make you who you are. So you reject me today, okay, you wash it off and you come back with another song or another movie.
It's tough. We're going to talk about this when we get back from commercial break. When you have a rough day and people, the haters, they even hate us because we have fun. Oh,
That's the biggest hate.
You got too much fun. You're not really working. You were out all night at a networking event. You're having way too much fun. So, right, we're going to talk about that on the other side of this break. More to come. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work. Or if you're interested in your own J. Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com. Or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
So how's everyone doing today? Okay. So what is the hardest tea to swallow? Reality. What is that for?
Oh man, I wake up to that now in the morning. I put it on my television and I just laugh. I mean, they put that together. That was hilarious.
That was awesome.
And I said to Josh, how many takes did it take you to get punched in the face? And he says he actually got hit in the third one, right?
3? He's like, yeah, that was Baxton. That was hilarious.
And Baxton's face is hilarious with the sunglasses. You couldn't think that up if you wanted to.
See what happens when we're on here. I think they're more creative when we're not here.
I gotta tell you.
We should leave more often.
And Teddy says they did a lot of great stuff. Wait till you see it. But and then I saw that last night. I was dying.
I know, that was awesome. Nice job, you guys.
But the interesting thing about the film industry is about rejection. And you're going to touch base on their being rejected.
I think it's rejection and it's the perception.
And the judgment.
When people hear judgment, what you do, we get all the time, "Oh, but you have fun all the time. Who goes to work and has fun, right? That's the show business side of it. They don't know what our morning phone calls are like, how many hours we sit uploading shows, editing things that go wrong, fixing those for clients. But then when the camera goes on, it is absolutely showtime.
And things do go wrong. You know, you get to see the end product, but we've been fixing stuff
all morning.
All morning. And we've been doing edits. You know, when somebody sends you 42 edits to do and the show is at 3 o'clock, it's a lot of edits. You know, you got to wait till the end, because if you don't wait till the end, they keep sending you more and more and more. There's a lot of work that goes into all of this
The
stuff.
business side of the show business, as you talked
That's
about, right?
That's
And they don't see that. Frank, do you get that? You're doing Florida Arts Network. Do you feel that's going to be a hindrance? It's going to be a help? You're going to teach the youth about the ups and the downs, the yins and the yangs?
What we're going to try to do is teach teach the students and the youth what they don't learn in school.
Which is a lot.
Because they're not taught a lot. They're just taught the basics of what acting is, of what filming is, or what photography is. We're going to try to teach them the business side and what they actually have to do, and teach them to going to have to accept rejection and a worth ethic, because I think the worth ethic down here is horrible. It's horrible.
It is.
Overall, it's not easy. I mean, the crew.
It's the heat. It's the sun.
No, the crew that we
we'll go
have
with that.
here.
It's the heat. It's the sun.
We'll go with that.
I had a construction company 17, 18 years ago. I'm still waiting for the guy to show up to work. I'm still waiting today. Still waiting.
Remember, I started redoing my house.
I heard it's the water. It's too much alcohol in the water.
That's another problem. It's too much alcohol in the water.
Not
Now,
New
I
York.
got to admit that teaching people what the schools are not teaching, we get shocked at some of the producers when they come in here about what they're learning and what have you. But you can't teach the fire in the belly. I'm so happy you said that. You cannot teach that. So you got a kid that comes in here, I got a couple in there right now, and they are ready to rock and roll no matter what require. I got Braxton is dancing with a mop now because he wants to sing.
Katie, please put that on TikTok.
And he got my attention, right? Because this is what's going on in the industry. They wanna have an opportunity to show their skills, and you got to be able to take rejection. That's important.
That's probably in any field, right? We're not as thick-skinned. There's two sides of this. You want to be open and authentic, certainly in what we do and how we portray ourselves, of positivity, Katie, all the time. But it doesn't mean we don't have thin skin, thick skin. It's tough to do this day in and day out. When clients say, here's the check is in the mail because I'm going to do this, and they want this, but the check never comes.
Then you don't do it.
Forget the thick skin, right? Then there's the business side of, I can't do this until you pay for that.
I self-published eight printed books and 10 ebooks, but 2 of my books were published with a publisher. I went through 163 rejection letters before I had a book
Wow.
published,
All right, so what kept you going and motivated to stay the course?
because I like what I do.
He has the fire in the belly.
You have to have that fire in the belly to say, I know I'm good at what I do. I'm going to keep going.
And I realized that just because somebody didn't like what I wrote, that's just their opinion. So somebody else may like it.
I got to share a joke with you. We went to an event last night, and I met a gentleman who's in the radio business, and I know his boss. His boss was working with me when we were at iHeart, and I know his boss. It's been about 8 years, and he's telling me how the station that used to be Beasley, doesn't work. They don't have any following. So I said to him, how long you been doing this? He said, about 10 years. Like that number was going to scare me. I said, well, I've been doing it 18 with Beasley, and I'm still here. And if I'm still here, there's got to be a reason I'm still here. And he looked at me, do you want a tour? So I called his boss. I says, no, I don't need you to give me a tour. Your boss is going to give me a tour. It's having things thick skin. It's about how people talk to you at a certain period of your life. Like if there's a crowd and they're going to try to sell tickets to the crowd and they're going to sort of downplay what you do because you do it so well, that's the part that gets to me about the business. I don't care if you say to me, listen, you're a bum, you're a failure. I know who I am and I know what I've done. I just don't like it when they come out and they say that kid can't play the guitar or this lady can't sing, because that's being like a bully. You're talking about third people. I can't stand that. That's the belly, that's the fire in my belly. I will put, and we've done acts that were kind of, but that's okay, because they took a shot, right? If you take a shot, you got to give them credit.
But you look at Josh in that music video he put together. You've never done that before, right? But you took a chance on yourself and said, I'm going to do this. And you've got another one coming up. And then maybe you can enter both of them into the Florida Arts Network, what their content, if that's what it's going to be. But you had never done anything like that. But there was something in you that said, I'm going to take a chance on me because I know I can do this. He's like, yeah.
Well, that's what I was actually talking to Richard about, was that, like, even in dance, and like in the music video, you see Josh and Katie, they're together and they're telling this story, but they're, you know, they're not dancing like ballet or, you know, a tango or something, but you can feel the story in the music.
Isn't that amazing?
And in what they're doing. So Richard and I were talking, like, sometimes, you know, even in acting, it's just holding hands or how you talk to somebody or something, that it shows, you know, what the story is.
Now, Mayor took your books in the back, and he sat through them yesterday, and he went over a synopsis of the books. Because what I would like to do, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this, is to do a short film on one of your books.
Maybe
And
with LJ.
And then I knew that LJ was coming today, and I wanted to collaborate with him. I wanted to talk to him because I don't know how to make a movie, but damn, I'll try. And this kid just did a short, and we put it on Cafe. We put it all over the place. I was really proud of the fact of how proud, El Orgullo, he was so proud that he got that thing done. That when I gave him this project, he says, ask Frank, which one does he want to do a short on? And I said, what's the complexities of it? And he says to me, well, sometimes we have to go to Paris and this and this. And hey, don't worry about it. We'll get there. So one way or the other, we're going to get there. I can wear a Paris hat or what have you. But it was him telling me, can you ask Frank which one? Because he brought it down to 2 books, I think.
I think there were 3.
Or 3.
Do you know which 3?
I want to say it was Lady the Harbor, your first Jack Stenhouse,
That one. And there was another one.
and Gabriel's Chalice, but he said an international religious film is very expensive to do.
So I said,
And everyone's shaking their head.
I
yes.
said, do the Puerto
We were
Rican
talking
one.
about that in the car on the way here.
He said because just to get the scenes and the sets, and LJ, I don't know if you know Frank's books at all, but to do your
Not only is it international, it's interplanetary.
Exactly.
Well, but you know, but Frank, but the point,
book is out of this world.
But the
Let's
point
find
is,
the book.
and
It's out of this world.
that's the one he wants to do. But the point here is that he asked. Nobody else will even take a shot at it. You know what I'm saying?
My first Jack Stenhouse book is all in Florida. So
He said
that's
that.
perfect.
And I asked him, did you read it? He said, no, I skimmed through it and I read the back and the front. And he did something, because he's on this high of, he was the director on his film.
He's a smart guy.
He's an intelligent guy. That's the one, he says, that's the one we should do. I says, okay, I'll talk to Frank, I'll talk to LJ, talk to some other people, see if we get this done. I just want to see it get done. To me, I get high watching the cameras.
Well, what piqued our interest is when LJ was here with the crew last week, and I said, why would you make a short? And you said to me, because it gives something to present to the film festivals to tease it out, to get the financing for the full.
Proof of concept.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we went, and like our antennas went up, we're like, Frank, this is like what we're thinking is the way to go for you.
It's a presentation, because once you don't want to, it's like a piece of pie. Or you get a little sample of it. Next thing you know, you're running off to the supermarket to go get the whole thing, because you tasted it a little bit.
Yeah, the Jack Stenhouse book, the first one, would be perfect.
Yes, you wanna,
is
and
the-
shorts are in right now. Shorts are on high demand. There's even a network for just producing short films.
Wow.
I know an actress Heather Langenkamp, who's known for the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger films. She produced a movie that was 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And it was just her staring at a clock. And it was so eerie. It swept all the awards.
Really?
They wanted more. They wanted a whole series based on a creepy movie of her staring at a clock.
Well, it's funny you say that, because we were talking to Frank 2 days ago about series versus feature film. What's your thought, Richard or Frank?
Well, we were talking about that in the car.
And I know you guys were talking to LJ about it too.
Because Frank and I have a script that we've written about human trafficking.
Right, and Lynn read the book.
Yeah, it's called Stuck in Traffic. And so we have a script already for a feature, but we were talking to another filmmaker friend of ours, and he was like, this would play out really well as a series. So now we're like, okay, do we want to do the film? Do we want to do the series? You know, do we want? How are we going to chop this up now?
There's so much content in the film, and there's so much content in the book, and so many different characters that can be portrayed on film, that it fits well as a series more than a screenplay. Because the screenplay is basically you're only taking a small part of the whole story.
Now, we talked about doing something like that, but then we came up to the conclusion that maybe the second or third film, because it's so controversial, so political right now, that whole
Human trafficking.
the human trafficking piece, I would rather start with something more like the first book we just talked about, get your name out there, see what happens. And then maybe the second one do something like that. Because I think we talked about the whale.
You're the expert in the production field.
I just, my producer wheels already started just going off when you mentioned human trafficking. It's such a controversial topic, but it's stuff that's going on right now. I said produce it as a feature film and break it up. Therefore, it'll lower the production costs. Especially when you're doing a show without no sponsors and it's coming out of pocket. You do a feature film. I'm saying now, I haven't read the script, but I'm just going by what you tell me. Produce it as a film and make sure you make room for the transitions for each episode. It's possible. You can do it at a low cost, and it probably won't even cost you anything. You assemble the right crew, get the equipment, get the locations, Airbnbs. You can cut a lot. Yeah, you got to talk to me because I'm gonna. I'll keep you at a low cost, and it probably won't even cost you. But it's possible.
We'll get you the written content, both the book and the screen.
It is very possible. It is definitely very possible.
So, Frank, I will tell you that in the 7 months we've been doing the editor's desk now, and so we're reading a book a week, Louise and I, and that book, Stuck in Traffic, is the one that I can't get out of my head. And even now, as you're talking about it, I'm remembering specific scenes in that book. And so to me, if you did it as a series, because the book is so good, but it's so intense that you almost can't get it all in a feature film.
Yeah.
You really need time to digest it, and the way you would do that would be in a series.
Make it per long.
And the other reason I think this is the book is because you took it over from Rose Warner.
As a chorus.
And by the energy that we all sit in the studio as, her energy is saying, okay, it went from me to you, and you to share it with LJ, with Lynn, and now we need to share this out.
That was something that was done backwards. We wrote the screenplay first, and I wrote the book from the screenplay.
You know, there's a reason there's so many lives that have touched this topic instead of just one. And then we spoke to someone today, and they just put out content, which is so scary in itself, for K through 5 to teach kids about human trafficking and what's acceptable, what's questionable, and how to react. So the fact that we have to teach our youth that there's a foundation right here in Boca Raton that just released their content yesterday. She's coming on Tuesday to release the content.
Yeah, she called me on my phone and she says, you know who this is?
It's like bell ringing.
Yeah.
That's why I really think this is.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It is. But maybe it is the right time. Maybe that's the way to go with this thing. And Wendy showing up, you know, I didn't call her.
We haven't seen her in years.
And we haven't seen her in 4.5 years.
Yeah.
But the course has always been there. Maybe there's signs, got to read the signs and just go with it, see what happens.
And now we have a contact that's working with the Broward County Schools. And one of the big topics in the Broward County Schools is they're trying to introduce and teach the children in the school about human trafficking.
Can you imagine? I mean, we all grew up, and it was, you went outside, you played stickball and scullies and all these things that you did in New York, right? We went out, we rode bikes or whatever we did, walked around the neighborhood. We didn't even have cell phones. We went out, we knew we were coming home at some point, and now what these kids have to worry about, what our children and our grandchildren have to deal with, forget bullying, we thought that was bad. Now you've got this on top of that, the anxiety, you wonder why our kids are so anxious and they don't want to do what they got to do and they can't leave the house. And
yeah, we went out to play and we came home and the street lights came on.
Yeah.
Right, you didn't think twice about it.
That was the way we did it.
I know,
Those lights went on.
and they're all laughing at us that we're old, but it's not easy being them.
I love us. I love us for real.
It was a
growing
different
up
era.
like that in New York, we got street smarts as kids, and kids don't have street smarts today.
They don't. You're absolutely right, because they spend all their time at home playing video games, and instead of being out there and learning what's going on outside,
Exactly.
or even basic skills like learning how to negotiate.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, we used to settle arguments, and stuff like this growing up as kids.
But it's unfair.
Hmm.
Because we didn't have all of the side attraction, the sideshows, the phones, and all that crap.
This is true.
So when we grew up, we had to have street smarts. That's how you survive.
We had the Ghetto Brothers.
Well, I had the Ghetto Brothers, and that was another street smart.
He had the Ghetto Brothers.
But
We got cell phones.
But it taught you how to live in the streets and how to grow up. I look at my son, and I tried to teach them how to play stickball. And the game, stickball used to last for days sometimes.
Yeah.
And they used to say to me, if it hits the car, you can still catch it.
To teach Josh.
Well, we should have a stickball tournament. Now, we have those guys up in West Palm that do it. But the object of the game is, back then, it wasn't like it is now. We sort of we didn't have phones, so we didn't have to worry about that. We looked for fun with each other. We used to communicate. Hockey with roller skates in the projects. Remember that?
Yeah.
And you had a catcher's mitt, and you had the catcher's thing with cardboard on your legs.
Like Fat Albert.
I don't know if it's Fat Albert. I knew that I got to play because I had a helmet. So they let me play.
So it's
We
up
used to play stoop ball, and now there's no stoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Curveball. All you needed was a Spalding, and
There's no street, stoop either. You can't do that. Or off the wall. Off the wall, we used to hit it off the wall because we couldn't find a stoop.
Sally,
None of
what'd
that.
you do in England?
Exactly the same as we do here now.
Yeah?
But we were always a little behind you, so we copied everything that was happening over here. But it was a completely different world in those days, absolutely. And we communicated with each other, which now we really don't. So
Kick the can.
Sad.
Kick the can. Lynn, so you think Stuck in Traffic is the one, as an author and editor,
It's
is
a
the
good
message
mark,
to
yeah.
share?
Oh, absolutely, because it's not just the human trafficking, it's also organ harvesting.
Yeah.
And these are really important topics right now that people are starting to wake up to and needing to wake up to in our world. There are, I think the last number I saw was like 800,000 kids go missing in the U.S. every year. Wow. So,
48 million people are in human trafficking in the world.
And Florida is what, in the top 3?
Florida, the top 3 in the United States.
Yes.
The Oregon,
I think plantation is like one of the top 3 in the United States.
the organ trafficking, I saw on one of the shows on television where the doctor takes out the guy's kidney and they sell him a kidney on the market. And the guy needed the money
I saw that.
and he sold the kidney. And I was like, is this real? I look it up and apparently it's a problem. People are selling their body parts.
Is this something that you think over the last, since we've had the internet? Because I believe, and I'm not sure, that these things did go on many,
Yes.
many years ago, but we had no way of communicating.
That's
as
right.
we
We didn't
said,
have
with
any way
each
of
other.
knowing.
So it
Correct.
doesn't mean it didn't exist. So in a way, can this be good? It's awful that it's happening, but at least it's being exposed much more now. so
I think
people
in the
are aware.
past it was more underground,
Right.
and it was more done on the QT, and nobody knows. But today's society, everything's in the open. They don't.
Which is a good thing, Frank, in a way, because it's bringing it to the surface, whereas before it was not there. It was there,
It was
but
there,
we didn't
but
know.
nobody.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I can remember when I was little, how we'd go trick-or-treating and, you go to a stranger's house to go get candy from them and your parents would look over your candy to make sure there wasn't an unwrapped candy or something. And I remember about 5 years ago, we went to Colombia to travel with our children and we were in an Uber, and the Uber driver had candy for the kids. And here we are as parents, we should have said, no, you should not receive any candy from a stranger. Well, what scared us was the kids did take the candy from the Uber driver, and they passed out within a minute in the car. And the Uber driver had even offered us candy, the adults. So there's so much that's going on nowadays that it's like you just have to be more aware.
Well, the days of trick-or-treating are over. I'm sorry to say, because now with fentanyl, it looks like candy and all that, and this stuff is so deadly that now Freddie and Gio, what they're doing is they either have a party for their sons because they don't want them exposed, and they'll invite people. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to look at every piece of candy to make sure it's wrapped, right? Doesn't matter anymore.
Don't you wish we could be positive, like we started the show with, what LJ said? Positivity, don't let the small stuff. And that's where I think the entertainment business and the show business, there's this fine line. We have to share the messages that people don't get through movies, through books. If they're not going to read the book or the script, and they're not going to see a full movie, then we give them a piece. Like, we have to chop all of this important information up to get out there, but yet we still need to stay positive. It's this slippery slope that we have to do in show business. Can you do it?
Boy,
Which
that
is
was
the
the
balance,
quickest-
which I talk about all the time,
Transition?
the balance.
That was the quickest U-turn in my entire life. It was, shoo, you want to go the other way now.
We opened up with positivity and how, right, negativity ages us, and our kids can't even go trick or treating.
That's true. It's sad. It's
Like,
sorry.
That's really sad.
But
I'm
we just got
sorry.
to make them aware.
And the problem is you got to educate your kids. I mean, you're teaching kindergarten kids about human trafficking. I mean, it ain't me doing it. It's life that's doing it. And if you don't do it and something happens, it's going to be all the naysayers. Well, you didn't teach your kid this and you didn't teach him that. When we were growing up, my mother used to say, when that light turns on, you better be home. If I got to scream out the window, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's
And you know that mom used to scream out the window.
Joey's going to go, no, Dad, I'm not coming home right now.
But I tell my sons that, and they go, how did you live? What kind of life is that? How did I live? I didn't go to jail. I didn't have a criminal background. I didn't do drugs. I didn't do none of that. I came straight home.
That's true. And
Because
I grew
we
up
have
in the
values.
projects in Brooklyn, so I know when my mom would yell out the window, I knew I was going to get it.
That was the first warning, right?
Yeah,
There
Louis!
was an old commercial on TV where the mom would yell out the window, Anthony!
I
remember that one,
wasn't
yeah.
it? All right, let's take a quick commercial break. More to come on this Fun Friday. Stay tuned. 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now, you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 855-993-2180. That's 855-993-2180. Again, 855-993-2180.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
His hands rolling onto the concourse. His first homer of this middle. That's a pitch that you cannot throw right here. That is a nice place to play by Reese. Hey, showing you a little bit of, hey, I can. Home run, Paul Goldschmidt. A big distinguished one for a double. Great job. Nice grab for the first down. The ball late.
All right, next time we're going to talk.
Yeah, we're back.
The Renaissance
I got to
man.
tell you something. You had Katie organize the board.
Yes.
A to Z.
Yep.
No, it's A to Z.
A to Z.
Thank you. Good.
A to
thank you.
Z.
No. Every file is A to Z.
It was making me crazy.
Oh, no. You don't know crazy. What do
I
you
was
see
looking
this
for
bad boy?
Meta, and Meta, I don't even know what side of the computer it's on half the time. And then I'm looking for Reinvented Life, and there's one that says The Reinvented Life, then there's Reinvented Life. And I was like, it's making me crazy this morning trying to find files.
Well, you thought that drove you crazy.
But I knew the person to ask, didn't I? Look at Josh's face. He's like, So wait,
Not
she's
so
even more
much.
than me. She says, so do you want A to Z this way? Do you want A to Z this way? Do you want a zigzag? Do you want like A to D and then this way? And then I didn't realize there were so many options. I just wanted to be able to find our files and our shows. So anyway.
It's like I say, good luck with that one.
Thank you, Katie.
That's an
Ivan.
interesting perplexion you got cooking over there.
So that song is by Kendra Erica, and we always love to play that because Kendra is a good friend at the cafe, and we think that's going to be the cover song, LJ, for Frank's next TV or movie for his book, Blue Falcon. Once we get the first one done, we're going to move on to the second one. Richard shaking his head, yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. These are great stories.
It's nice because Kendra started, we've known Kendra, I've known her almost 13 years now.
Yeah.
And when she started, Kendra was learning how to sing. And she learned how to sing in this building, right? And the funny thing is that now I watch what Kendra's doing in California, and she's in films now, and she's doing all this stuff, and she's building that momentum. And at Leeds, I saw her mother, and I chased her mother. His mother was leaving, and I chased her, and I says, I just want to tell you, man, you did a nice job. And she looked at me, she says, what made you say that? I says, because I think you needed to hear that. And she thanked me, and she cried, and she walked out the door. But I gotta tell you, the venue, the adventure of doing these things sometimes outweighs the end result. Not everybody's gonna hit 400 and be in the Hall of Fame. But imagine playing in that big field, just one game. So all I ever asked God is, let me play for the Mets one game, one inning.
Aren't you going tomorrow?
I'm going to the game tomorrow. But I would love, and when I was in high school, I got to play in these stadiums in high school, and I'll never forget that. I wasn't good enough to play in the majors, but I got to play in these stadiums, and they were full. In Puerto Rico, they go crazy for baseball. So I literally, I took my sons to play in these stadiums because I wanted them to understand what that feels like. And Freddie is the only kid in the Santori family that ever played college football at a stadium. And he called me, he says, Dad, I didn't even get in the game. I said, did you put your foot on the field? Yeah. He says, you're the only Santori that's ever done that. He said, really? And I got the jersey in my house.
Well, happy birthday. His birthday's tomorrow.
His birthday's tomorrow.
He's going to be 32.
He's in Puerto Rico watching us.
Happy birthday, Freddie Jr. 32, right?
Is he going to be 32? Yeah. Holy smokes.
Did I tell you, Karen, we're old enough to be your parents. It's pretty
Now that I'm
unbelievable,
really
right?
depressed.
Why? It's a beautiful thing. You have another grandchild coming in
Okay,
June.
enough. Now you wanted to turn the gears to love, and there ain't no better man in the studio that comes in proclaiming love.
They gotta
Okay,
fix
so
the
go
camera
fix
first.
it. It's okay.
You know what, then?
Don't worry
He's
about
gonna
it.
walk right in
You
front.
do this. You do this all the time anyway. He does it anyway.
Yes, we started the show with positivity and love, and while we were at commercial break, I had a very important question for Sally. And I love Sally because she doesn't realize even when she's in a calling, because afterwards she says, thank you. It's as if they give her a message, they leave, and she thanks them. Or she says, do you understand? Does that make sense? And sure enough, she gives me an answer, and she goes, thank you. And she gives me another answer, and she says, thank you. You don't even realize you do that, right?
Tell her to switch.
If they were aware that I did that, they both said yes. That's the first time they've become aware.
Just walk across, Josh. And this is Josh 4.0. There you go.
He's the guy that got punched in the face in that video. But yes, so I'm sorry, what was Sally's message?
I was asking her about something I told you about last night, and she told me about negotiations and just,
Definitely.
it'll be okay. And then she says, thank you. And I continue to explain it. She gives me another answer. And she says, thank you. And I think she thanks them when they give her information, they leave.
And I'm thanking them because I couldn't be thanking you because
Right.
you asked me the question. So it was.
So I feel as if
yes.
you thank them, they fly away.
I'm just very polite in spirit and in here.
It's a beautiful thing, though. But that's why they keep coming back.
That's right.
I love that.
They like it here, though.
Go
we do know
Sally, they're
that.
screaming.
You know, the funny thing is, and Len, Kenny, your mic. The funny thing is that last year, Kenny was in studio on the day before Lent, which is Fat Tuesday.
Okay.
And he asked me what I was going to give up for Lent. And I don't remember what I told him.
Hate.
And I think that this year, the message is to negotiate peace is what I would like to do, or negotiate love. Because I think that the problem we have is that we get lost in the mix of messages and all these hints that they give you to do, even growing up and doing it the right way. And we've forgotten what that's like. Because we are living like this with blinders, and all we care about is how to pay your rent, where's the money going to come for your car, and am I going to eat today? That's really what it comes down to. It doesn't matter that people are homeless or people are dying in wars and things that are stupid right now. But I just wanted to bring that up because Kenny's in the studio, and I think that what I want to do for this year for my birthday is to celebrate life. You know, I didn't get a chance to do that last year, and this year I went to Walt Disney World, and I have my own Walt Disney World here. And I would like to celebrate my life with everybody who comes in, just to give them a little taste, even if it's 5 minutes of what happiness is by. It could be a book, it could be anything. So I'm glad that Kenny's here today because it just reminded me that we got another birthday coming up. And thank you for reminding me that my son is 32. Talk about depression.
Wow,
I
my
can't
daughter's going to be
believe that.
31.
Yeah, but that's okay for you.
And my son's getting
You're
married
younger
next
than
month.
me.
Really?
Yeah, but you're younger than me. I went through all of that.
I have
already.
kids very young.
My son's 45.
And the depression continues.
Why is
My
it a
oldest
beautiful
grandson is 34.
Oh my God.
Your oldest grandson is
34?
Well, mine is only 4, so 3. So 4.
See
Well,
that?
we didn't actually know he was my grandson until about 12 years ago. My son was a little naughty boy when he was 15.
Thank you for sharing, Steve. Really appreciate you.
He actually met the child, and the girl swore that it wasn't his, but he always knew it was his. And about 11, 12 years ago, they reconnected on Facebook, and she said, I have to tell you something. He's really your child, and I tell you this not for any other reason, but you have a right to know. She wasn't asking money or college tuition or anything like that. So I was the first one in the family to meet him. And we sat at Denny's on up in West Palm Beach and on Okeechobee, and we sat there for 3 hours, and it was just amazing. I mean, he even ordered the same thing that my son would always order at Denny's, the Moon's Over my Hammy sandwich. So,
Wow. What was that like for your son and your grandson to connect?
well, and it was interesting because my son was living in New Zealand at the time, and he didn't actually meet him until he came to the States for Mikhail's college graduation. He was living in Ohio. Then they spent a month traveling around together and bonding, and it was amazing. And unfortunately, as we've mentioned before, my son passed in 2014, just after, he and his son got connected. So it was very hard for my grandson, and still is to this day, and we talk about it often.
So you're still connected with him?
Yes, very much so. He's a very big part of the family. In fact, I'm seeing him tomorrow.
He lives down here?
No, he lives in Virginia right now, and my daughter used to live in Virginia, and they were very close. My daughter moved to Florida now, thank God. But by the way, Fred, I just want to mention one thing about what you said earlier about you were still waiting for that employee 16 years ago. I guarantee you when he shows up, he's going to demand and feel entitled to his sick pay.
Yes. You are so right.
Well, it goes back to I think the whole theme of this week is you have to take opportunity because you never know when it's going to present itself.
That's
And that is what Kenny says every week is you got to love everyone, you got to stay positive because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So enjoy the moment. So Kenny, I'm glad you're here a little early today.
Yeah, me too. And I love you, Dawn, and I love you, Freddie. And what you just said was powerful, Freddie, about peace. So for Lent, you're going to
Negotiate peace.
Negotiate
I'm going
peace.
to try to give away, try to stop thinking negatively about it can't be done, and I'm going to try to negotiate peace. I think that, you know, if you're having a disagreement with family members and things of that nature, it's time to put your sword down. It's time to, because you can't get the world to follow in suit if you can't take care of your own dilemmas. So I think it's time to stop doing that stuff.
Well, see, when I hear negotiate peace, I hear spread love.
Absolutely.
And that will create peace. And I love you all. I just want you all to know that. I love each and every one of you. And it's just such a beautiful day today. Like, I was just like, wow, we live in such a beautiful world, full of love. And we only have now, like this second I could pass right now, and that's what I say on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm really like, that's really powerful, Freddie, that you're going to negotiate peace for Lent and celebrate life for your birthday and love.
It's time. You know, there always comes a point in your life where you have to say, you know something, you should be grateful for the things you have, not the things you lack. And for me now, that has been, I mean, we've been here 3.5 years, right? And I get to talk to people who don't know us. They don't know about the show, they don't know about Josh, they don't know about Braxton, they don't know about Kenny Love. But they say, oh, I think I remember seeing this or seeing that. And I just want people to know. They talked about what would you like to leave behind if you passed away? What's your legacy? What do you want people to know you for? That's a great question. Do you have that? Do you know what you would like to leave behind? Do you? What would you like to leave behind, Missy?
Me? That I stand for positivity and hope. Hope, I think. It's kind of my
So
word.
that's your legacy. Okay. And Kenny, what's yours?
It's love. And I love you, Freddie, and I love you, Dawn. And when I was listening to your son, happy birthday 32, the celebration of love, and Dawn, that your daughter's getting married or your son's getting married? Son's getting married, mazel tov. And again, when I listen to both of you, I love you both so much because we're going on 3 years very shortly of the show because of you. And you've spread love by creating these beautiful children. And that's what the Florida Love Show's about. The spreading of love. I mean, you have that, and now you're going to have one getting married, Dawn, who's going to end up having kids, and you know, and you'll be a grandma.
And that's right, because that family's going to grow sooner than you think. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, I see it.
When she comes and starts playing with my shoes, we go, oh, Grandma's
coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
That's going to be part of your legacy. Part of your legacy.
My shoes will be my legacy.
That's
there
right.
you go.
Yeah, that's another legacy. Legacy, Frank. What do you think you want to leave behind? What do you want people to remember you as? What's that legacy look like?
I want them to remember the messages I gave them through my books.
Interesting. Continues to be the author even in the afterlife.
Faith.
Legacy.
I want to just be known as somebody that made a positive impact in other people's lives.
Interesting. Interesting. I like that. LJ, what about your legacy?
I gave him my best shot.
You left
That's
it
what I
all.
want to be known for. I did everything I can, and I tried, and I never gave up. And I'll leave it at that.
I think that's kind of like you. It must be the new Eurekan in you guys.
Could be. Well, you know, when you hustle and you try and you try and you
You
try.
never give up.
Why are you going to give up?
But people
That's
do.
the easy way out.
But you never, if it doesn't work this way, it's that way. I can be exhausted and sitting back there saying, oh my gosh, how are we going to do another event? And you call in 7 of the crew. You said, all right, guys, this is what Dawn and I have to do tonight. Can you take care of it?
And they did it.
And they did it. And we went on to do what we had to do next. But you always find another way to make it work.
Well, I don't do it alone.
I know.
All 7 of them
But you
did
presented
productions.
it and you found a way. It works.
Because the
It takes a
opposite is you
village.
saying, no, I can't do it. And I made a promise that we were going to be there.
You did.
And I kept my word. He looked at me. He says, you know something? Your word really means something. Because he's so used to making people making him promises and not accomplishing anything. Lynn, what is your legacy?
So for me, it's that everybody that I came in contact with understood that they matter.
Interesting.
My mother over there, Sally.
Sally?
I'm actually lost for words. Can you believe that?
What was
No,
the
my
question?
legacy, and hopefully I'm portraying that a lot on my shows here too, is positivity, because it's so very important, especially in today's world today. So when I'm long and gone, at least I'll have something here that carries on my message. And I try to do the best I can. I love everybody. The way that whatever they have announced here is amazing. And I share every one of their points of view here too. So hopefully we all try to remain as positive as we can, even though it's unfortunately a very negative world today. But there's positivity there.
And your significant other?
Thank you, audience.
I'd like to be remembered for saying that it's never too late to grow up and become a better person, because it happened late in my life.
That's right.
That's a great message from Steve, because we know a little bit about Steve's story. And then you and Sally got married 2 months ago,
Yes, we
right?
did.
So congratulations on that. We tell
Congratulations,
people,
yes.
they say, she did what?
Wait a minute, I still say I did what?
But it's not, and I love that, Steve, that it's never too late to really do what you want to do, to be the person that you want to be.
Karen, what's going to be your legacy?
Well, you know the song by Beyonce? She sings I Was Here.
Yeah.
It's like I want to leave my footprints on the sands of time and know that I meant something in somebody's life. So I feel like even talking to Dawn the other day, I've had a resilience throughout my life. And one thing I've learned now is that you can do anything you set your mind to. So that's one thing, you know, I would love to leave to my daughter and to everyone behind, is that anything is possible as long as you set your mind to it and you love yourself.
And the $1 million question is, do you feel today that you're closer to accomplishing your legacy than you did yesterday?
Yes.
Do you?
Does everybody agree? Me, no.
Really?
That's why.
That's why you asked the
Circle-
question.
That's why, that's right. Encircling my birthday, I'm going to get closer. Because I feel like I have not. I feel that I've taken a lot of things that God has given me for granted. I feel like I could do more, and I'm going to do more. Because if I ever feel like I got there, I stop doing it, man. I stop. That's why I don't stop. You know, you swim across the ocean. Okay. And my father says to me one day, you're going to swim across the Atlantic, you get to the other side. Are you done? I said, no, that is another ocean. Don't give up. Just keep going. And you can always make everything in your life a little bit better.
I think it's kind of how we started with LJ, when he said, you stay humble, because you're never really at the top.
I was going to say that LJ said 17 years ago he started with a black bag that had Fire Creek Entertainment on it, and that's how you started, right? And 17 years now, you know, later, he's amazing. He's producing videos and music and films and stuff, and it's like that's one thing I grabbed out of LJ's message is don't give up. You will, you know, you can do what you set your mind to.
I heard this was the first Spanish interview you've done.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. In all the years I've been in show business, that was my first Spanish speaking interview.
What was that like for you?
Tongue twister.
I was going to say, was it hard? Was it
No,
hard to
it's-
portray the same information?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I speak Spanglish, so it was more Spanglish. So it was wonderful.
You should write a movie by that name.
Spanglish?
No, there is one.
I know.
There's a couple.
And Frank, you're going to be in an event tomorrow. And Lynn's going to be at the event tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Lynn's gonna be there.
Everybody's going to be there.
We're gonna be at the mall in Wellington Green.
How's the progress in the movie business? 'Cause I want to get that in before we say goodbye. Is there any progress, anything happening, anything going on? Are we closer? Are we getting some meetings going? Bringing the movies back?
Closer.
Well, as far as what, like our project?
Yes,
or
your
just
projects
in
in general,
or-
both.
All right. Well, you know, right now we're going to rework the script a little bit. But after the conversation that we had in the car, now we're wondering, you know, okay, we'll maybe chop this up, do it as a series. And
Florida Arts Network?
yeah, and then as far as Florida Arts Network, as you know, we were just recently incorporated. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought my big mouth would resonate with regardless. As far as Florida Arts Network, like I just said, we just recently incorporated. We're waiting for the certificate from the IRS to come in and make it official. But I have been in talks with a couple of people about getting the word out there so that we can start bringing the arts back to schools, or at least starting out with finding locations where we can do like maybe 6-week workshops. Because there's so many kids, like I was Karen and I were talking earlier, there's so many kids that will never get the opportunity to be on stage or screen, will never put a brush to canvas, sing a note in front of a mic, or set foot into a dance studio, because the opportunities are just not there. And we want to try and bring these opportunities to these kids so that they can have a creative outlet. I was very fortunate when, you know, I grew up in New York City, and so my parents exposed me to like classical music, opera, Broadway theater, Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Guggenheim. You know, I did all of that when I was a kid. High school, you know, I learned how to play all the brass instruments in high school. I was in a drama, so I had all those opportunities, and I see so often that when the schools start cutting their budgets, the art programs are the first things to go.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
That's true.
That's what
Yeah,
LJ was saying.
It's crazy. So these kids, no creative outlets.
Unfortunately.
So this is one of the goals of the Florida Arts Network. And then on a larger scale, also bringing filming back to Florida.
Yeah.
And getting people. I work with a lot of independent filmmakers, and Frank and I are constantly talking to these people and getting them networking together, introducing directors to actors to gaffers to whoever.
We've talked to people from Europe. We have contacts that we've talked to people from South America that want to film here.
Yeah. England, we're in touch with a guy who is connected to one of the largest independent film groups in England. And they love filming down here. So we're trying to work something together to do a little bit of lobbying to try and get the incentives back here.
Well, I'm glad that you guys will make this connection, and we're going to move forward with that. And anything we can do to help facilitate that will be great.
Thank you so much.
And we're looking for a venue for this May, too.
Perfect. Do we have two dudes in the car?
No.
We don't have it. Okay, I wanted to play that.
No, we don't have it.
Kenny, who do you have on your show
Who's
today?
coming up on your show, Kenny?
So today I have Tammy Lynn Baruch, and Baruch means blessed, and she is blessed. And we're doing an in loving memory to her mom, Joan, which she's Spanish, so they call her Yoni, or actually Tina. And she is an amazing woman, and I've just had such an incredible experience. I've never met Tammy Lynn in person, so this will be the first time. She wrote out to me on Messenger, and I just fell in love. I was like, Tammy, you got to be on the show. This was last week. And these are the miracles of God. That's how God spreads love, coincidences. And so I'm very excited to do it in loving memory to her mom, her family. I mean, there's just so much love there, and she's amazing. So blessed.
Very good. Yeah.
Yes.
Today at 3 o'clock. I
Don't
think
miss
one
it.
of the most amazing moments that happened here in this studio was one of our producers got to meet with somebody from his past.
This week, yes.
And that was one of these gifts of God that
Mhm.
made me think of it when you just said that. When you
Mhm.
said every child should grow up the right way. There's no right way. They all have the path that they are on, and I hope that meeting here at the studio was a way for them to get reconnected and either close that gap or open that gap, whatever it means to the two of them. But that, I think, was one of the most special moments here this week.
It was a tearjerker, that one. Also, I want to congratulate Mr. Baseball.
Yes.
They got the baseball deal
Boynton Beach.
at Boynton Beach approved by the city. It was doctrinated for the next 50 years. And they're going to set it up to 26 acres they gave them. That's a whole, 26,000 feet they gave them.
That's what you told me.
26,000 feet they gave them. So that project is taking off as well. We're going to have him next week come in.
Awesome.
But congratulations, nice job.
It'll be great.
And we'll have some fun with that.
All right, have a great weekend, everyone. Have some fun as we started off our show. Stay positive, more to come, and we will see you Monday, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.